Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Awakened Intuition. I'm here on, I think, my fourth video, and I am excited because we have 5 subscribers. And I know some people are going to watch this and go, 5? That's not too many, but look, here's the deal. Whether it's 5, 10, 1,000, 10 million, I don't know what the number would be. I'm happy regardless because this just shows that people are willing to help themselves and tune into some content and do the work themselves to try to get better, and they're willing to open their minds up and try something new that they've never done before. So that, to me, regardless of how many it is, to see some more people trying that is awesome. Okay, I'm going to talk about something today called the law of attraction. I obviously am not going to go into the deep depths of what it is about, but I'm going to talk about the basics and how to get into it. If you're new to this channel, it's great to have you. Please like and subscribe, and just, be ready for some more content coming. I'm new to the YouTube thing, but I'm enjoying it so far. Now, the law of attraction, to get into what this video is about, is basically an idea that you can attract anything that you want in your life to you to have, as long as your mental state is functioning in that way. Let me give you an example. If I go through my life and everything bad is happening to me, it's probably because I have bad thoughts going on in my mind or negative ideas. This is actually something I touched on a little bit in my last video about raising your vibration. You can go check that out on the channel. But the basic gist of the law of attraction is that there are 2 parts of the mind that you need to understand. There's the conscious mind and there's the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is our thoughts, what we facilitate with our mind. We say, we can't go that way because there's a roadblock over there. We consciously make that decision to go that way, or we consciously choose what we're doing. And the subconscious mind is much deeper than that. It acts on emotion, not logic. It acts on emotion, not conscious thoughts. And a lot of the times, the emotions that we have, or the deeply rooted subconscious ideas, aren't within our control because they're always running. Let's put this into perspective. When you go into the world, you can say to yourself over and over again, I'm going to get a good job, I'm going to get a good job, I'm going to get a good job. But if you don't believe it and feel the emotion, the change is not going to reach the subconscious level. The reason a lot of people have these problems in their life growing up with the law of attraction not working in their favor, attracting negative things, is because as a kid or as a young child, they absorb these negative ideas and these negative emotions. You don't have that much money because we don't make that much money. You're not successful at that because we don't make that kind of success in our lives. You don't get to do that because that's not what you're meant to do in this family. Or you are an angry person because of what we do and what you observe. It's not just what people tell you, it's what you observe. As a kid, you don't have that cognitive and conscious idea or that conscious faculty yet. You only have the subconscious mind until you're about 7 to 9, I've heard. Usually typically 7 though. And you absorb all these ideas. So if you're around a family that's constantly fighting, you're going to develop those anger and those anxiety tendencies because they're deeply stored in the subconscious mind. If you're around people that are telling you can't do this, or you don't look this way, or blah blah blah, that's what's going to get stored in the mind because that's all you have at that time. The subconscious mind as a child is like a sponge, and it absorbs everything into the brain. Now what happens? As we get older, we develop the conscious mind, but we still have all of the pre-packaged information that we absorbed as children. And also traumatic events can also influence the subconscious mind in a negative way. So now we're adults, we go through the world, and we have these problems that we can't explain. We say, I try to get in a good mood, I try to do all this stuff, why isn't it working? It's probably because the subconscious mind is replaying the negative influences that it's been given. And I know some of you might be saying, well, that doesn't really, that could just be mumbo jumbo, but think about it. The subconscious mind is always working. It works around the clock. It works in your sleep. This is why a lot of people have these weird dreams about things that they think about a lot, or these weird things. If you watch a lot of scary movies, you're probably going to have a scary dream because that's what you've been putting into your mind all day. If you watch a lot of things about super rich mansions, you might have a dream about that. It just depends, but that's the information you're putting into your subconscious. It works all the time. I made a video the other day talking about a way to improve yourself and your self-perception. And think about this. You go through your life and very instinctually a negative thought probably pops up, like, I don't look good enough, I can't get that, or I can't get that thing or that person or that job because I don't look good enough, I'm insecure. If you track yourself through the day and see how many times that idea comes into your mind, it's going to be threatening and scary because you're going to realize you do that all the time. You're just not consciously aware of it. It happens to me all the time. I'll get insecure about my looks and I'll be like, this is so bad. And then I'll stop and go, wait, why am I worrying about this? Because it's playing out in my mind automatically. So what can you do? What do you do? How can you fix this problem? These are the 3 basic ways to change the subconscious programming to influence your life in a better way and change the constantly running feedback into a positive experience. Okay? The first thing you can do is make the change as a child. If you're raising a child or you have a young child, influence them in only positive ways. Try to only expose them into positive feedback loops, positive feedback, and that will allow them to perceive a more positive reality, which will reflect back at them. Now, most of you watching this are probably not 7 years old and you're saying, oh, now I'm screwed. What am I supposed to do? Not true. There are 2 other ways to do this. There is emotion and repetition. This combination of things is so powerful when it comes to programming the mind. I would also include visualization. Really, those are the 3 things: visualization, repetition, and emotion. So let's talk about this. The subconscious mind does not respond positively to negative things. So if I say, I am not stressed out, the mind just goes, whatever, you're not stressed out. Yeah, you are. You have to say things like, I am successful. Okay, and you'll say that a bunch of times, repetition, repetition, repetition. Why must we repeat it? Because we have had negative ideas repeated our whole lives. So we have to undo what we've learned. We have to unlearn what we've learned. Shout out Master Yoda. We must unlearn what we have learned. And the only way to do that with the subconscious mind is repetition with the inclusion of emotion and visualization. So if I say, I am successful, and I do this every night in bed, I am successful. How? I visualize what it is that I am successful at. Composing music, speaking to you people, getting more money at my job, getting a better teaching position, all of these things I visual, and it's worked for me. It's really worked for me. I went from having no work to working 3 jobs and making really good money because I worked hard to get where I am, but I also did this every day and it changed my life. It changed my life forever, and I'm only trying to get more now, to boost my life and boost my self-happiness. So every night, honestly, whenever you can, but I typically do it before bed, I lay down, I say to myself in my mind or out loud, both is good too, I am successful. Well, what am I successful at? So I visualize what I'm successful at. That's not enough though. The key component, remember, is that the subconscious mind reacts to emotion, not logic. You have to sort of fake it till you make it and feel the emotion you will feel when you are successful. So if I am successful, how will I feel? Glowing, beautiful, radiant, happy, joyful, and I imagine it and I feel it and I smile and I feel the emotions physically. If you don't feel the emotions, the repetition and the visualization will not have the same effect that it is having. And this is going to help you get out of a huge slump in your life. This will help turn your life around. This will help you get into new jobs, get you into new opportunities, new relationships, new people. I mean, look at this. People always get into, I was in a relationship many times in my life where I dealt with crazy people that were really, really, really stressful to me and causing me problems. And granted, I'm not perfect, but I had my fair share of relationship problems. And I kept having this. I kept attracting these types of people. And once I changed my life and I changed my mental perception, suddenly my life started to change too. I was no longer having these crazy people come into my life. I was no longer having these horrible incidents happen to me. I was no longer dealing with those problems anymore because I attracted something else. Right? The examples fall into everything, whether it's monetary or relationship or your physical health. Do you want to get stronger? How do you want to do it? Visualize yourself at the gym. Visualize yourself waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day to go work out. I mean, are you determined to make that change? If not, it's not going to work. But if you can feel the excitement and the emotion behind it, you're going to get what you want. And it's that simple. And sure, the change won't happen overnight, but you've got to remember, you're trying to reprogram a condition that has been going on your entire life. Of course, it's not going to be overnight instantaneous results. You've got to make the change and be determined. If you haven't read it already, the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill talks about this in great detail. It's amazing. It has a whole chapter about the subconscious mind and how powerful it is. It calls it the workshop of imagination, I believe it is. And it is amazing, and it really, really, really will help you. I've read the book probably like 6 times already. I read it a lot. I had a copy of the book. I gave it to a friend who I thought needed it. I haven't spoke to him in a while, but I'm sure he's doing well. And then I went out and bought another copy of the book because it's so damn good. So what I'm talking about here, it's not just I'm not trying to make it like, to those who are watching this that aren't into this spiritual lifestyle. I don't want it to be like some spiritual woohoo. This is like top business people, top athletes visualize and obtain their goals. Top people in the world in all fields do this. They visualize, they feel like they're really there, and they feel the success, and they do this. This is not any sort of just, it can be viewed in a spiritual aspect, which I do, I'll be honest with you, but it doesn't have to be that way for you. It can just be a simple change of your mindset. I used to be an extremely pessimistic person, horribly pessimistic. Now, honestly, I'm very optimistic. I mean, I get bummed out every now and then, but that's human, and I choose how I'm going to look at that. When I get upset, I don't say, dang it, what is up with this? Why is the world giving me all these problems? Screw them, forget them. I say, okay, what must I learn from this situation? What am I going to do better? How is this going to affect my life? Everything is okay. This is going to be good for me. And I changed the way I think of it. And you know what? Even when I run into little hiccups and roadblocks, they only just make me better because I allow them to. I don't let them destroy me. I don't let people's opinions of whatever I'm doing destroy me. I just say, that doesn't bother me. And then I condition myself in a positive way. Try it for yourself. I actually am going to say, this is not ready for the channel yet. If you've been watching my past few videos, you know I've probably mentioned it, but for anyone who's new, here it is. I am working on a manifest visualization, sort of law of attraction type guided meditation thing. And it will be perfect. Like how I mentioned at night, I lay in bed and I visualize what I'm successful and I do all that and I go through it. I'm going to be recording a version of that you can listen to, and it will guide you through the process, and it'll be super helpful for you. I'm still working on it. It's not quite here yet, but I want it to be as good as it can be. So this is going to be major. Stay tuned. That's really all I wanted to do, is just talk about the different aspects of the mind and the ways that you can influence the subconscious mind to get what you want. There's so much to say about the law of attraction, and there's way more in-depth things to go into. But for now, I just wanted to touch base with that, say hello to everybody. Thank you for subscribing, and leave a comment of something else you want me to make a video about. I'd love that. Talk about, where you're from or what you're doing. I'd love to hear that too. Leave a like and subscribe for more awesome things that I have coming your way. I mean, this is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. So stay tuned. I've got some awesome stuff cooking up. Have a wonderful night, and peace.